वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्ताः स्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया पर्युपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्। सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धरता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ज्ञानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी। सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः। समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः। तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः। ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता भगवान के मुखारबिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है, और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है, वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
Sangadosha Adhyatmanitya Vinivritta Kama Dvandve Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sange Gacchanta Mudha Paramavyayam Tat Sangadosha Adhyatmanitya Vinivritakama Dvandve Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sange Gacchanthamuraha Padama Vyayam Tat Niramana Moha Jita Sangadosha Atya Manitya Vinivritta Kama Dvandve Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sange Gacchanthamuraha Padama Vyayam Tat Sarvasya Chaham Hriti Sannivishto Matasmitiragya Namapohanam Cha Vede Jasarave Rahame Pavejo Vedantra Kitave Davideva Jaham Sarvasya Jaham Hriti Sannivishto Matasmitiragya Namapohanam Cha Vede Jasarave Rahame Vavejo Vedanta Kitave Davideva Jaham Sarvasya Jaham Hriti Sannivishto Matasmitiragya Namapohanam Cha Vede Jasarave Rahame Vavejo Vedanta Kitave Davideva Jaham You can now slowly and gently open your eyes and know that you are a unique and beautiful spiritual being of pure consciousness. And all you have to do is to shine brightly to whomever you meet, wherever you go. And you'll be helping the world and the universe. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev Maharaj, Jai Geeta Mataji, Stay blessed.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. On behalf of Swami Geeta Kiran ji and Guru Bhai Joshi ji, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for being with us tonight. Having said that, I would like to invite Guru Bhai Dr. Kapoor ji to please take it from here. Over to you, Kapoor sir. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. It's really a divine opportunity to come on this forum and share thought on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are all the devotees of Swami Hariharji Maharaj. He inspired and infuriated millions of people on 7 continents, and we are one of them. I bow my head and heart in the lotus feet of my Gurudev. गुरु आज्ञा में निस दिन रही, जो गुरु चाहे सोही सोही करिए। गुरु आज्ञा में निस दिन रही, जो गुरु चाहे सोही सोही करिए। गुरु की महिमा अपरंपार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार। अक्षर ओम में करत विहार, अक्षर ओम में करत विहार। गुरु चरणन रज मस्तक धरिए, जो गुरु चाहे सोही सोही करिए। जो गुरु चाहे सोही सोही करिए। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म, तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम श्री परमात्मे नमः। शास्मिदं पुण्यं या पठेत् प्रियता पुमान्, विष्णु पदं वाप्नोति भये शोकादिवर्जितः। गीता अध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायाम परस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्म कृतानि च। ओम यत्र योगेश्वरा कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरा, तत्र श्री विजयो भूतिर ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्ममः ॐ यत्र योगेश्वरा कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्री विजयो भूतिर ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्ममः Bhagavad Gita was emanated from the lotus lips of Bhagwan Shri Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra in India, approximately 5,000 years before. There are 700 verses divided into 18 chapters, 3 schools of thought: the yoga of action, the yoga of devotion, the yoga of knowledge. Today, I just want to share with you some unique thought coming out of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And that is, the other day I was making a presentation in one of the churches in New York. One of the audience, in his utter ignorance, asked me that why in India, Sanatan Dharma, which includes Bhagavad Gita also, divided the society into Jativad, casteism. And this was my response. I just want to share with you, because this is Western world media is projecting our eternal Sanatana Dharma in a totally different language and thoughts. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse, and it goes like, Brahmanam Kshatriya Visham Shudra Nam Cha Parampata Karmani Par Vibhaktani Swabhav Prabhay Gune. ईश्वर ने इस सृष्टि को बनाया है एंड इसमें कोई नुक्स नहीं है. ही इज द बेस्ट इंजीनियर. उनके बनाए हुए प्रोडक्ट में गलती हो ही नहीं सकती. गलती होती है व्हेन वी मिस अप्लाई, मिस यूज एंड अब्यूज द इटर्नल नॉलेज, bring it to our own level. Instead of uplifting ourselves to understand at that high level, we bring it back, a common man, to his or her own level and totally misinterpret the supreme wisdom. इंडिया में ऐसा ही हुआ है कि जो बात भगवत गीता ने इस श्लोक में कही या भगवान श्री कृष्ण अर्जुन को निमित्त बनाकर हमारे लिए बता रहे हैं कि ये जो संसार है इसमें सबकी दो पर्सनैलिटी हैं. एक है लेटेंट पर्सनैलिटी, एक है पेटेंट पर्सनैलिटी. पेटेंट पर्सनैलिटी इज विजिबल. वी कैन सी द कलर, the size, the language, the origin, from where that individual is. So evidently what the mirror shows, we also see that. And that is called patent personality, which is visible with the naked eye. But then there is a latent personality. Latent personality is invisible. वो आपके भावों की दुनिया है. माइंड, इंटेलेक्ट एंड ईगो, उसकी बनाई हुई दुनिया है. उसमें जो आपके भाव हैं वो आपकी पर्सनैलिटी बनती है. योर बॉडी रिएक्ट्स, माइंड इज द मास्टर ऑफ योर आउटर फ्रेम. तो माइंड जैसा आपका है वैसी आपकी पर्सनैलिटी. आप वही काम करते हो जो आपका माइंड कहता है. जो जीवात्मा कहती है उसकी तरफ तो हम देखते नहीं. तो माइंड जो कहता है वो लेटेंट पर्सनैलिटी है हम सबकी. तो उसके मुताबिक इस संसार में रहने के लिए there were 4 categories. One were intellectuals, one was warriors, one was business community, and one was service oriented. These are the mental faculties. It has nothing to do with the outer frame. And in this country, United States of America, we are the citizens, equal rights, women rights, Constitution is there, equal opportunity, one God, they say many things. But 80 years before, slavery was available at every street level. But now that was a Samajic thing. It has nothing to do with the Christianity. The same principle is applicable in India also. ये इंडियन सोसाइटी जो छठी बटी पड़ी है वो लोगों ने उस बात को समझा नहीं. मेंटल फैकल्टी का मतलब है the people who are interested in knowledge, they study and digest the information and then don't sit at home. They come and share that knowledge with the society. That is what the function of the intellectuals are. They study, digest the information, and then they share it, that knowledge, with the social, with the people around them. They travel, and that category in Sanskrit was called Brahman. Brahman, the intellectual, real intellectual. And that is evident in the ashrams of the old days, rishis and munis, sages. That was their function. And that category was called, according to the high standards of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Brahman class. But later on, if Brahman's son is not having that latent quality, he or she intends to be a businessman. But people continue to call him also a Brahman. He didn't study anything. He didn't meditate anything. He just, because he was born in a family of intellectual and he himself is not having that talent, he was called by the society still Brahman. And it goes on for generations. And the whole idea was totally misused and molested. Second category was Kshatriya, people who are fearless, who has the courage to confront the injustice, whether in the name of the country or individually or in the social system. And there are people, and India is full of those warriors. Shivaji Maharaj, Maharani Lakshmi Bai, Maharana Pratap, so forth and so forth, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Those were the warriors. They didn't afraid, they didn't run away. But again, the same thing happened in due course. The social system started acknowledging the offsprings of those warriors, still a warrior. He may be scared from a mouse, but he is a warrior. That's what the social system became in due course. It was totally disfigured. Bhagavad Gita says that the warrior must be fearless, courage, must not tolerate any type of injustice, must have the morality and ethics to stand up and challenge the injustice. But it didn't happen. It happened many generations, but then it was deformed. The third category was business-oriented people who will earn money grow a lot of food, and then they will give it back to the society. They will charge, and they were called businessmen. And here in this, but at the same time, in those days, if I am a businessman, I earn a lot of money. At the same time, my personality, I would make sure it is developing on a human nature. I will be more benevolent. I will be more charitable. Because the money belongs to the society, I will make sure I give it back to the society in some form or shape. And the clear example is Bill Gates. In this country, he earned billions of dollars. But at the same time, he donated millions to different nations, to the poorest, and such a refined social works. So he earned money, but he did a lot of social goodwill acts. But there are no businessmen who earn, and they are busy in creating their own assets. That was not the intent of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And the fourth category was service-oriented, who do service to the society selflessly. And that is the word it came, volunteership. People who do volunteer work, in those days, they didn't charge anything because their needs were met by the second category, the businessmen. They will give it back. But now, the fourth category, they are also charging money. There are agencies who are employing those people. Nobody is telling anybody, you go and clean the houses of others. It is the latent quality. Outside, the man may be very, or she may be very beautiful, very robust, very strong, but those does not mean anything, but because latent quality, the set of mind is totally different. So that was, I just wanted to share with you, that is the profound wisdom of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And people did not understand, and they misapplied and misused and abused this beautiful, beautiful thought coming out of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is the latent quality, not the patent quality. So we should be very careful. If somebody asks you, Jativad, we are not believing in any Jativad. In this country also, it is the same rule still. The same rule is applicable in spite of the constitution. So my request to all the listeners that whenever anybody alleges, try to bring beautifully the concept of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that there are two types of personality, patent personality, latent personality. And this social system depends on the latent qualities. If a businessman, business-oriented thinking person becomes a doctor, it is very dangerous. He will not do the missionary work, he will start earning money. This is what is happening these days. If a person who is full of fear, if he or she joins military or navy, that will be a disservice to the nation because he or she will run away when the emergency comes. So we should be very watchful, we should be proud of, but we must understand ourselves. Otherwise, at one time, the law of karma was misapplied, misused and abused. And that is why India paid very heavy price. We just continue to say, whatever God does, he does for the best. So when the invaders came, we didn't confront them. We lay our arms He put cows in front of them, that the cow will save us. It didn't happen. Bhagavad Gita says, God helps those who help themselves. So at our own individual level, we should try to digest this information. And if we are not doing the right thing, try to do the right thing. And that is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. With these thoughts, let us pray to Almighty Bhagavan Shri Krishna Ji to give us the courage and strength to hold this superior Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Jai Shri Krishna and Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kapoorji. Beautifully and so simply explained. I love the explanation. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Having said that, I'd like to invite Dr. Prasadji to please take it from here. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Peter Ji. My prayer to Bhagavan and to Lord Sri Krishna. Vansi Vibhushita Kara Navanirdabhat Pitambara Darunabim Purnendu Sundara Mukha Arvind Netra Krishna Param Kimapita Tvamaham Najane Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev, to all the divine souls. Last week we covered verses 3 and 4 of chapter 6. In chapter 6, we are talking about meditation, Dhyana Yoga. And in verse 3, Lord introduced two words, Aruksho and Yoga Rudhasya. Aruksho are those who are in the beginners. They are aspiring to reach the goal of Siddhi, perfection. And for them, Bhagavan says, karma is the means for them to progress, yoga of action. And those who have moved higher up, yoga rudha, they have moved far ahead on this path. For them, samaha, that is the tranquility of mind, is a means for them to progress further and reach that destination. That was in verse 3. In 4, Bhagavan then trying to present before Arjuna the qualification which the criteria which determines whether somebody is yoga rudha or not, whether he has reached higher level of on the path of perfecting or not. And there he gave 4 criteria, that if somebody, at least 3 criteria, those who have reached or attained 3 criteria, that is, number 1, no attachment to the objects of senses. They have sense control. No attachment to action. Na indriyarthesu, na karmasu. Then, sarvasankalpa sannyasi, that he has renounced all thoughts. That is the mind control. If somebody has attained or fulfilled these criteria, then such a person is said to be yogarud, and then he will be able to move further and reach the state of perfection. His criteria, his fulfills gratitude is fit for deeper meditation and he should attempt to be one with Brahma. Now that those are 3 and 4th. Let us see what Bhagavan talks about in verse 5. This 5 verse is very thought-provoking and very important, one of the important verses of Bhagavad Gita, one of the gems in the Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavan says here, Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmanah. Let me give you the meaning first. Here he says, Uddharet atmanam atmana. You will see in this verse, there are so many words, atmana, atmanam, atman, atmana, atma. There are 7 of them. They sound similar. The meaning also will find self, 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 so many of self. I will explain all of those, then it will become very clear. Otherwise, when you read like this, it doesn't make clarity. There's no clarity in this. He says, na atmanam avasadayet. First thing is, uddharet atmanam atmana. Let a man lift himself by himself. Then he says, na atmanam avasadayet. Let him not degrade himself, put down. Na atmanam avasadayet. Let him not degrade himself. For atma eva atmana bandhu. The self alone is the friend of self. Atma eva atmana ripuhu. The self alone is the enemy of self. You see? So there are so many self, so many atmanam. We'll explain. So, in broadly speaking, Bhagavan is saying here, let a man lift himself by himself, let him not degrade himself, for the self alone is the friend of the self and is also the enemy of the self. Now, in order to clarify this point, I have put up a sketch here to see what Bhagavan is trying to talk. We are talking about self and Atma and several things. When we talk of Atmanam, the word self goes with it. And we say Atmana, the mind goes with it. Atma or Atmanam in Bhagavad Gita at several places do not exactly mean the Atma or the soul. It can mean mind, sense, body, depending upon the situation. So this word has been used at several places, which do not all of them have same meaning of soul. Let me clarify further. You see, I am myself. What is? I'm composed of? I have 2 components. One main component, that is gross component. The one which is perishable is this component of Prakriti, which has got 3 gunas, Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. And the power to this Prakriti, which is inert, is provided by Purusa, that is the soul, that is the Brahman, part of his divinity. Now, when you put in this fashion, you will find there are segments from below. You can talk of gross body, the aggregate body, the senses, the mind, intellect, ego, and Atman. So in that way, Bhagavan has explained clearly in later verse. I will come to that also later on. But let me put it here. If you are like this, this is the composition of an individual. This is under his control. If this is my body, I can move my hand, I can move my eye, and I can get thoughts within myself. And there are certain certain components which I have some control. There are many things on which we have no control. But then let us see, there are in this composition in the body which I have some control. While outside world, they have no control at all. I have no control. I have no control of outside. So what happens? And we have to, in this world, when we live in this world, we have to interact with this world. And in this interaction, things may, you may get exposed to things from outside of which you have no control. But when you react to that, you should have your control. That is one very important message over here. It is up to you, or depending upon the three gunas component, we may look similar in the drawing. I will give example of a drawing room in which a family is sitting. There is father, there is son, there is a grandfather, grandmother, and they're sitting in the drawing room. Now a guest comes in, sits on one of the chairs, and the father tells his son, which is about 7 years of age, bring a glass of water. Now that boy, as he comes and tries to put the water, he drops the glass and breaks the glass, and water gets spilled and glass gets spilled. Now that event has been observed by people sitting there in the drawing room. The father will try to rush and give a slap on the face of the child. The mother will say, "Oh, why you are doing this?" The grandfather and grand will hold the son, "This is too bad, you should not do this." These different reactions by different individuals depends upon the composition of his guna. If the father is having tamoguni, he's a rajasic or his tamasic, he will slap the child, always shout, and he will be angry, full of anger all the while. Grandmother and grandfather, if he is satoguni, he will not have any emotion to react, to be angry. He will be rather trying to put things softly and console the child. So the behavior of every individual, how he reacts to same phenomena happening outside, entirely depends upon the composition of the individual, and that individual then reacts. Among these components, mind stands out very strongly. It is the mind which is the engine. It is the mind which determines how the individual will react. And with mind goes his senses, his gross body, his subtle body, and all these things. And then overriding mind is the intellect, his ego and his power, which is given by Paramatma. So there is what is called self. Whole thing is self. The lower self is the one, this part, and this mind and the intellect, and these are higher self. So when we are talking about higher self and lower self, we should take into considerations the ability of the higher self to discipline or to bring order to the lower selves. And that's what Bhagavan is pointing out here. When he says, Uddhared atmanam atmanam avasadayet. So there are two components. One is, let a man lift, that is, lift himself. If he is in sansara, he is involved in the activities of all things. Out of the ocean of sansar sagar, कोई संसार सागर में डूबा हुआ है, संसार सागर में गोते ले रहा है, तो वो अपने को उससे उबारे, अपने को संसार के बंधनों से अपने को उबारने का कोशिश करे. भगवान कहते हैं, let a man lift himself. How he will lift himself? It is not a question of weight he is lifting or he is any object. What is? He is himself. So in himself, he has the power in himself. Using the mind, the power of mind, he uses the power of mind to lift the other components which are disorderly. That is, he has the ability to train or tame in those components in his body which are not behaving properly. If his hand is moving in the direction which is wrong, he must withdraw from it. If he's using his legs and other parts of the body to perform actions which is wrong, which is not proper, if he uses the knife not to cut vegetable, but to cut somebody's hand, that he should prevent. So their mind has to come into action to be able to control his senses and his different part of the body, so the actions are performed in a disciplined, in orderly, in proper way. So Bhagavan is saying, let a man lift himself spiritually. We are not talking about any activities in such a which is not spiritual. We are all talking about a spiritual activity. So while performing his behavior and action, he is lifting himself in the path of his spirituality, and that for that he is using his power of mind. Using his power of mind, Bhagavan is saying, let a man raise himself out of the whirlpool of sansar and get higher up, get on the path of his spirituality. He certainly wants him not to degrade himself. That those people who are not aware of his own status, and when we perform actions which are not ethical, not proper, he keeps on doing that. By keeping engaged in activities which are not going to add merit to his or punya, अगर पाप ही करता जा रहा है तो पाप करते करते उसकी अधोगति हो जाएगी. He will go sink down. Bhagavan says, let him not degrade himself. Let him not drown deeper into the ocean of sansar and get lost. So this is a message Bhagavan is giving, and this has to be performed by the individual himself. So there is what is involved is purushartha. That is, his self-effort is involved. Self-effort is required to be able to lift himself from this whirlpool. And that is sadhana, which adds on to bahiranga sadhana. If you remember, some time back, last week itself, I mentioned this bahiranga sadhana and antaranga sadhana. We have not started talking, Bhagavan has not started talking about antaranga sadhana, but he is still adding on to external aids or bahiranga sadhana. You remember last time in the verse 1, Bhagavan talked about this no bhaktritva bhav, anasritaha karma phalam. You remember that was the Ishwara Prasad. We should not perform action based on the fruit of the action. You should have phalatyaga, anasritah karma phalam. That was Ishwar Prasad. That was one Bahiranga sadhana. And we talked about no kartritva bhav. That was Ishwar arpanam. When you perform action offering that action to Bhagavan. So these are two Bahiranga sadhana which Bhagavan mentioned in verses 1 and 2. And here now Bhagavan is talking about another Bahiranga sadhana, the third one, which is the self-effort, Purusarth. Let him, through his own effort, using the power of his mind, left himself so that he gets rid of the impurities in his senses, in his action, in his body and his mind, and he lifts himself spiritually on the path of perfecting that we talk about. On the path of perfecting, he moves higher up. And for that, mind plays the key role. That in this verse, Bhagavan is emphasizing, and he has done it so many places. We'll come to that gradually. But here we'll keep in mind that in this verse, Bhagavan is talking about the role mind plays in lifting himself, and mind also plays in putting him down. If he's not elevating himself, if he's allowing degradation, he will go down. Guru Nanak Dev has a famous saying by Guru Nanak Dev Ji is Man Jeete, Jag Jeete. The one who has won the mind, that means who has given the power to the mind, which is strong and pure, he will be able to interact with the world. Jag Jeete. Jag is sansar. He has won the sansar. That means he has been able to improve in this society as well. So he is a man who is ideal person, who has won over his mind, and he has moved into the society spiritually in the own life. The fact is, if you look at yourself and people around you, you will find most people are oblivious about themselves. They do not sit down and evaluate where I stand at the, if you make a scale of spirituality, what are the quality of a person who has the evidence of spirituality in him? Now, there are ways to grade oneself. How much you are, where are you? How much anger you have got, how much desire, lobh you have got, kama, krodha, lobh, chobh, mad. All these things can be graded, and Bhagavan in chapter 16 has beautifully described all those grades, and chapter 14 also. So 14 and 16, they have given the grade for the person to evaluate. Most people, you will find, they do not bother about it, do not think about it, and do not feel that what is his actual status. What is the difference between his actual status and the ideal status, where he should go. When you go to the prayer hall, go to the satsang, you will find somebody at a higher level, higher pedestal spiritually is talking to you. Now that his level may be ideal. Gurudev Maharaj was ideal for all of us. Now where are we? If you compare ourselves to his level, where are we? Now can we lift ourselves so that in spiritually we are able to be closer to him? That's often people are oblivious about it. People do not think about it, do not evaluate themselves and see how they can move up from the actual level they are and move to the ideal level. What happens? People are all blind about their own imperfections. So much of imperfections we have. In fact, some of them are a boast that I can be so angry, I have got desire So for the desire, they will boast. ये भी है, वो भी है, क्या नहीं है, Mercedes है और ये है. All kinds of things they talk about and they boast about it. They do not think that is anything wrong in it, anything bad in it. They think I am so great and all those things. I think I have moved 5 minutes more than time allocated. I think I will have to stop here. I will continue next week. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prasadji. Beautifully explained, very, very well done. Easy to understand. Thank you, appreciate it. Swami Geeta Kiranji, would you like to say a word and conclude the program? I'll let you conclude today.
Yes, everybody. It's beautiful. It's so nice to have all of you together today and many days more. And thank you, Dr. Kapoor, Dr. Prasad. And I'm my mind, my brain still working on what you've been telling and also some new idea. So hopefully that we can spread the news about Geeta in more channels. And I'm planning for another channel of this Zoom I would like to call it Light of Geeta for All who are seeking the ultimate liberation. And this part will be totally academic or in details about Geeta. And I need your blessing, especially Dr. Prasad and everyone's Guru Pais and Guru Bhan. Bless the success of this path. Thank you.
And one more thing, Dr. Prasad, I want to talk to you.
Yes.
There's a meeting going on 30th of trustees. I made a proposal for adding more trustees to Joshiji and Ramanji. And
I have read that.
I sent it to them.
I have
You
read
are aware
that.
of that?
Yes, I have read.
Oh, that's good. If you think that, because this could create a lot of, we need to create about 15, we need to get 1,500 villages of Jodhpur along in Geeta Dham, and we have plenty of resources. With these people together, we can do wonders together.
Lovely.
But these people are wonderful. I mean, these are like Pushpaji has her own, like she's totally devoted to everyday Gita Yagna in Jodhpur, and they have already trained 2,000 kids, more than 2,000 kids who can recite Gita by heart in Jodhpur. We have to connect them to Geeta Dham, and these are the 5 people who can really do wonders. I feel very strongly about it, and I wanted to see whether all of you who are on the trustees were supported, because this would really change bring Guruji's dream alive.
I have read that. I have seen that.
Very nice. Thank you so much. I would like your blessings, because this will change the whole Geeta Dham in a different way. Very good way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Ji.
much.
Jai Sri Krishna. Jai Sri
Thank
Krishna.
you.
जय श्री कृष्ण
Jai Sri Krishna.
एक मिनट मैं बोल सकती हूँ कुछ मैं मोती
जी।
में रुद्रा
जी।
ये जो अभी बता रहे थे ये आरुरुक्षे पुनर्युगम तो उस पर गुरुजी ने जो सेंटेंस बोला था वो मैंने कहा अभी भी याद है तो उनका था कि एक उदाहरण दिया था कि एक जो है वो घोड़े पर चढ़ने के लिए तैयारी कर रहा है और दूसरा है वो घोड़े पर चढ़ गया है वो उन्होंने अभी भी याद है बताया था कि एक को है वो तैयारी कर रहा है आरुक्षे बोले कर्म कारण उचित और योगारूढ़ तो उन्होंने कहा वो जो ऑलरेडी घोड़े पर चढ़ चुका है वो है महाराज जी का वो सेंटेंस मेरे दिमाग में था और ये जो आज आपने इतनी अच्छी तरह से बताया उसके विषय में भी गुरु जी का एक लेक्चर अन्नू गुलाटी के घर था तो उसमें भी उन्होंने अब वो
हाँ,
कहीं
हाँ।
रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं ले तो उसमें उन्होंने बहुत विस्तार से इसी वैसे जैसे आपने इतनी सुंदर चर्चा की, तो गुरु जी ने भी इस पर बहुत सुंदर एक एक
Yeah,
जो आत्मा के ऊपर
yeah,
किस
yeah.
संदर्भ में बोला है वो उन्होंने बताया था। तो आप बता रहे तो हमारे दिमाग में आया कि
नहीं, मुझे भी याद है महाराज जी ने कहा था।
घोड़े का उदाहरण।
हाँ, रूढ़ रूढ़ शब्द है ना उसमें, तो भगवान ने
हाँ
बताया, गुरुदेव ने बताया था, मुझे याद है।
हाँ, ठीक
ठीक
है।
है, थैंक यू।
धन्यवाद।
जय श्री
Thank you,
कृष्ण,
धन्यवाद,
जय
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद।
Okay. Once again, thank you everyone for being with us. It's time to conclude our program now. We'll see you on next Thursday.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai
Geeta.
Gurudev.
जय श्री कृष्ण, जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री कृष्ण,
Jai Gurudev.
मोती जी जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री कृष्ण, जय श्री कृष्ण,
मोती जी, जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
Jai
मैं
Shri
सभी को बहुत बस
Jai
होली
Shri
की कामनाएं।
You are all right, मोती जी?
नहीं, मेरी गर्दन में फ्रैक्चर हो गया है तो इसलिए।
How come? Really?
गिर गई थी तो गर्दन में फ्रैक्चर है।
I wish you the speediest and complete recovery.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna. Stay blessed.